Hey guys, this is Max. Welcome back to Max UX. I hope you're feeling well today. Today is the third episode of my news series called Ranking The Discography. If this is your first time on the channel, welcome. If you're back, welcome back. So today's episode is about the band called Trivium. The first two episodes were about Paramore for number 1 and Nightwish for number 2. So yeah, I'm kind of switching genres between pop rock, symphonic metal, and thrash, metalcore, heavy metal kind of stuff that Trivium does. So if you're not familiar with the series, I'm going to rank the discography, obviously, from the album I like the last to the album I like the most. But I will start off with doing a bit of history, and not history about the band, because you can go on Wikipedia to other stuff, and that's not what I want to do, but just a bit of history about the band and I. So the first time I listened to them, how many times I've seen them live, etc, etc. And then, yeah, I will go to, so from 9 to 1, because Trivium has 9 albums, and I'm going to rank them. Please do not hesitate to comment down below to give me your top 9, and we'll see if we agree or disagree. And I like to disagree with people, so that's, I think it's great what we're going to do. Sorry. Yeah, and if you're not familiar with the channel, I'm not English, I'm French, so sometimes I will struggle to say some words, and I will say some because it's French thing to do. Okay, let's go for history in 3, 2, 1, go. And go with the history, let's go. So I discovered Trivium pretty late, to be honest with you. Well, since I've been listening to metal since 2003, when I was 11 years old, and I discovered Trivium when I was just after high school, my first year of studies, because I discovered Trivium in 2011 with the release of In Waves, and yeah, the first time I heard Capsizing the Sea and In Waves, I was blown away. So In Waves is very, very important album for me, and since then at the time I listened to the album they did before, and I've been listening to every album they've made since then. So Vengeance Falls, Silence in the Snow, The Sin and the Sentence, and obviously What the Dead Men Say, that was released this year. Outside of that, I've seen Trivium 5 times live, so yeah, I went on Satistat FM to remember, and if you're not familiar, this is the best way for me to remember gigs, so yeah, do the same. So the first time was in 2014 when I went to Hellfest for the second time. Yeah, they played there. It was on the Vengeance Force, sorry. Yeah, that was the end of the Vengeance Force era. So yeah, first time I saw them. Then I saw them 2 years later in 2016 at Download Paris, Download France. So it was for Silence in the Snow for this one. Then I saw them in March of 2017. They played one of my favorite venues in Paris called Le Cabal Sauvage, which is kind of a circus, I'd say. It was an off tour. They just released the reissue of Ember To Inferno at the time, and they played Pillar of Serpents that night, if I'm correct. And it was a tour with the band Shapes from the UK. So this is the band of Bruce Dickinson from Iron Maiden, youngest son. Then the tech metal band from the UK called Sixth. Yeah, it was very cool. It was the first time I saw Trivium as a liner and in a venue, so it was very cool. But the best was yet to come, because they played at Le Bataclan in 2018 for the Sin and Sentence tour, and that was awesome show. Very good opening acts. So for in the UK they had Code Orange as the biggest supporting band, and since I love Code Orange, I was excited to maybe have them on mainland. It did not. So our two openers were Venom Prison. This is death metal band from the UK. Very good band, very good band. Their latest album from last year is mind blowing. Then the second opening band was Power Trip, the thrash metal band from Texas in the US. So very good opening bands, and the live show from Shogun was insane. The Sin and the Sentence is such a good album, so to hear those songs live mixed with what they've done in the past is, yeah, it's truly an experience and truly something I like a lot. And finally, the last time I saw the band was at last Hellfest, because yeah, they played there on the Sunday, if I'm correct, and it was still for the Sin and Ascendancy for the summer tour of that era of the album. So yeah, that's 5 times, and outside of that, I'm working for a French webzine. It's called La Grosse Radio, in English, the fat or the big radio. And I had a chance to interview Matt and Paolo for the release of the Sin and the Sentence, and it was a very, very good interview because well, how they interact with people, and because that day I wore a shirt from a band from the UK called Creeper, and because I knew that Matt just like mentioned them on Instagram or Twitter a few months back, so I was like, okay, this is kind of an icebreaker, and it worked. And we had an awesome talk about black metal bands from France, because guess what? He knows his bit of share of stuff about black metal bands from France. And yeah, I love Trivium. They weren't one of my favorite bands at all, like growing up, because I guess even though I loved In Waves, then Vengeance Soul and Silences were kind of meh to me. But the Sin and Sentence came out, very, very good album, one of my favorites from 2017. And also I like how they interact live, so Matt with Twitch, and Paolo is one of the funniest guys, on Twitter. So yeah, they grow on me on the human side of things, and I think that's kind of important about bands, and I have so much respect for them now. So yeah, I consider them to be maybe my top 15 of all time, I'd say, between 15 and 20. But they are definitely my top 5 of human beings as a band, I'd say. Okay, so I've been talking for more than 5 minutes about my story. I'm sorry, because well, I'm passionate, that's who I am. And I'm going to go now deep into the ranking. So yeah, so I'm going to go to from 9 to 1, and for each album I'm going to tell you what I think about it, and mostly I will tell you which is my favorite song of it, and I will pull maybe a little playlist on the comment section. So let's go, and we are going to start with number 9. And at number 9, we have the Crusade, released in 2006. So I'm not, like I said, since I discovered Trivium with In Waves in 2011, I wasn't the kind of people who discovered the band with Ascendancy and got like frustrated over the Crusades, and I listened to the album just right after. And even though I'm more of a metalcore guy now, it didn't matter to me in 2011 because I didn't listen to metalcore or hardcore at all. I just listened to metal. But I remember like maybe just like hearing the album and was like, okay, that's not very good. Well, that's not what I like, to be honest. And to do those videos, I listened to the whole discography like 2, 3, 4 times even. And yeah, it's still the album I liked the less. There's not that much I like about it. It's not my cup of tea, so that's why the album is at number 9. It's not a bad album. I think the band had to do this album to be able to release Shogun right after. So it's a misstep, I'd say, in their career, but it's not that bad. And my favorite song is probably, as everybody else, is Becoming the Dragon. So yeah, that was number 9 for the Crusade. We are going to number 8. And for number 8, we have the album released in 2015, Silence in the Snow. Yeah, I liked Vengeance Falls a lot. Compared to Silence in the Snow, I think it had good chorus, good catchy stuff. And mind me, this is not Silence in the Snow is not a bad album. It is a very, very good album. Like, I'm pretty sure a lot of bands would like to release an album of that sentence, and only be number 8 on my ranking. So this is a good album, but maybe, and like I've seen Matt tell in a lot of interviews, that the band was just focused on going one way and not derivate from this path, I'd say. So it's kind of bland. It looks a lot like B-sides from Vengeance Falls and In Waves. But yeah, good songs, and my favorite on this one is, I'm sure, Dead and Gone. I listened to the album just right before recording this video, and yeah, I was just singing the chorus of Dead and Gone, and I like how Matt sings on this one. So that's why this album is at number 8 on my list, and we're going to go through right after with number 7. And for number 7, we're going to go straight to the beginning of the career of Trivium, because at number 7 we have Ember To Inferno, released in 2003. I was 11, and I just discovered heavy music with Evanescence at the time. Yeah, yeah, I liked Ember To Inferno quite a lot, and I know why I like it now. Because like, for absolutely no reason, I didn't listen to this album until 2017 when they did the reissue. I don't know why, because maybe I was dumb and I was like, okay, this is their first album, so it's probably not that good. Even though now I'm just okay, when I listen to an band, I have to go back through whole their discography. I wasn't like that 5, 6, even 10 years ago. So yeah, I'm kind of a new listener to Ember To Inferno, and it's the metalcore I like. So even though I'm pretty sure Matt doesn't like to be called a metalcore band, but I think that's what they were at the time. Thrash mixed with metalcore. Completely 100% like, I agree with that. Yeah, I like this album. It's rough, but like, the riffs are amazing. The drumming, this is outside of the work Alex has done on the Ascendancy and What Did the Man Say. This is probably my favorite drumming for Trivium in this album. So it's Ember To Inferno, and my favorite song is Requiem, which brings us to number 6. And for number 6, my favorite number, we have Vengeance Falls. Yes, Vengeance Falls, so the album released in 2013. This was the first time I was expecting something from Trivium, because when I discovered In Waves, the album was already out, so it was new to me at the time, and I had just all this listening sessions of the album, which brings me to be patient for this one. And yeah, this is a good album. I like it a lot, to be honest with you, and that's why you can say that 9, 8 and 7 were those albums that I don't listen that often, but from now on, so from Vengeance Falls number 6 to whatever album will be number 1, those are the album I like and listen to a lot. And my favorite song on Vengeance Falls is Villainy Thrives. Yeah, the hook got me every time, and this is a song I could definitely put on a lot of playlists. I listen to, and I have get to put it out there that this is probably my top 10 of Trivium songs, and I truly hope one day by In Chains they will play it live when I will see them. Let's hope. That's the thing. So yeah, number 6 is for Vengeance Falls, and we are going back to go through with number 5. Number 5. That's them, sorry. Number 5 is for Anyways. Yep. The album I discovered Trivium with is number 5 on my list. So like I said and the number 6 with Vengeance Falls, I like every album in this top 6, and it was hard to put them in order. I was pretty sure for the top 2, it didn't change, but between 6 and 3, I went through the ranking a bit of times. I moved an album up and I moved an album down, then I listened to 2 of them. I was okay. So it was a bit of mixing into that, and that's why In Waves is 5. So, like I said previously, this is the album that made me discover Trivium. Like I said, from the point on, I listened to Capsizing the Sea and In Waves. I was hooked. And my favorite song on this album is Dusk Dismantled, because Matt has such as, like, I don't know, it looks a bit like with black metal-ish vocals on this song, with the more like the way he nails hair to the things to sing, and I think it's pretty amazing. I'd love to do that sometimes. And yeah, this is a very, very good album. I love it. The artwork is, I'd say, the most beautiful they have done. I'm sure it will look good on a huge, look great on a huge poster in my room. So that was number 5, and we are going to go straight to number 4. And for number 4, we are going to this year. Yeah, my number 4 is What Did the Men Say. This is a very good album. I was like, my expectations were high as fuck after the Sin and Sentence. Like, I had no expectation for the Sin and Sentence. I was like, okay, Trivium is the last, and yeah, they are going to release like kind of like an album with one good single, and the rest will be not bad but not very good. And they will stay a band I will never go to see aligning to a band I will just only listen to, well, go see when they play Hellfest or every other metal festival I go to. So this Sin and Sentence blew me away. My expectations were fucking high for this one, and they didn't disappoint. So What Did They Say is very good. It took me a bit of time to not go into the album, but to go into the first track they released, so The Catastrophist. I was like, huh, that's a funny... That wasn't the best idea, in my opinion, to a lead single. Then every song right after was just blew me away. And I listened to this album quite a lot during quarantine because I have a great time on my hand at home. And my favorite song on this one is definitely Scarring the Ashes. And if you haven't checked this out, go on their YouTube channel, because Matt has like put a replay of his Twitch session playing the album front to back. First of all, he is a great like presenter. You could do it one day, I would love it. Yeah, I love how this song is played, and I can't wait to see Trivium live on this run for this album. And I hope hear Scarring the Ashes, because this is like, I love this song. I've probably listened to it twice as more as the other tune on the album, so you can see that I love it quite a lot. Now it's the podium, it's the top 3. So there are 3 albums left, since you can do math. So it leaves us in the order of release with Ascendancy, Shogun, and the Sin and Sentence. So we're going to be discovering now who is number 3. And 3 is Shogun. Yes, number 3 is Shogun. It took me a lot of times to get into this album. I don't know why. I'm pretty sure it was only... I'm not going to say last year, but maybe since the release of the Sin and Sentence, to have a real appreciation of this album and of every thing that Trivium did on this one. For a long time, it was for me an album like, not like the Crusade, because like I liked a lot of the songs that were on Shogun, but it wasn't one of the album I was like, okay, I'm listening to Trivium, what I'm going to listen to. A lot of times it was In Waves, it was Ascendancy, and maybe Vengeance Falls, right? And then I don't know why. One day I was like, okay, I want to listen to more Trivium, but I listened to the Sin and Sentence, Ascendancy, and those albums like quite a lot. So let's go back to 3 and let's see if my taste has evolved over the past those years. And it did. And I think I know why. It's because so I listened to metal for the first time in 2003, listening to Evanescence. Then I went to a full metal scene for 10 years. So Evanescence, a lot of symphonic metal, that's my stuff. Then a bit of like mainstream metal. Then 5 or 6 years ago, I went deep into metalcore with like when I discovered Park Drive, Architects and stuff like that. Then into hardcore for the last 3 to 4 years. So even though it's not like an hardcore album, it's not a metalcore album, I think it has those things that I love now, and I didn't know how to appreciate them at the time. So that's why I think it took me many years for me to like Shogun as much, and now it's number 3 for a reason, because I love it front to back, and my favorite song is number 1. It's Kiss Big Gomen, because I freaking love this song. I can listen to it on repeat and not being bored. And if you know me, you know that I hate to listen to the same song twice in a row, so it speaks volumes, I guess. Okay, let's go back to our video. Sorry, and we're going to go with number 2. So, 2 albums left: Ascendancy and A Sinless Sentence. And number 2 is A Sinless Sentence. Like I said, when I was talking about what did they say, I had no fucking expectations for this album because I was so down on the band with the release of Silence in the Snow. And even though I liked when I saw them at Hellfest and at Download Paris, France, I didn't expect that much. Then I remember like I was on holiday when the first track of this album, so the title track, Ascendancy, came out. I was like, okay, there is something with it. Then like 3 weeks later, they released The Heart From Your Hate. I was like, 2 very good songs in a row. That's interesting. And then when I did the interview of Matt and Paolo at where was it? Oh, it was at the headquarters of Warner in Paris. So it's in the north of Paris. And I received the album like a few days before, so I had a chance to listen to it like front to back and just prepare my questions. I will give you a link. I don't know if you have there or in the description of the interview if you want to read it. It's in French, sorry, because I write in French. And I was blown away by the album, so that's why this album deserves this place. And what in my opinion, what gives me more love for this album is the fact that the show I went to at the Bataclan was freaking amazing, and this was one of my favorite shows, 2017 at the time, of 2018, sorry, 2017, sorry. When was it? Yeah, 2018, sorry. And yeah, I love this album. My favorite song is, I'm sorry for my pronunciation, guys. It's The Wretchedness Inside. But like I basically like every song on this album. I could put Sever the Hand at this place. I could put The Sinless Sentence. I could put almost everything on this one. But I think The Wretchedness Inside is by far my favorite song of on this album, so that's why it deserves spot number 1. And we're going to go to number 1 now, and you know which album it is. Yeah, it is Ascendancy. Yeah, number 1, Ascendancy, like I said right before. This is to me still the best album Trivium has ever made, even though like I could probably put one day the Sinless Sentence first, but Ascendancy has all those like riffs that I love, all those songs. My favorite song is Rain. And front to back this album is perfect. Like live when they play Put Harder on the Strings of Mother, it's crazy. I don't know, this album feels so real, and they got so much traction thanks to this album in when it was released in 2004. It wasn't in 2005, sorry. It wasn't maybe the best for them. Like what Matt said in a lot of interviews, they get put on every front page of every magazine, and like the press telling that they were the next big thing. So everybody had high expectations for them, and the band released the Crusade, and all this press, especially from the UK, cut down on them, saying they were the worst band ever, which is wrong. But that's the press. That's what they have to do to make people buy magazines or stuff. I don't fault them for that. That's their job. But yeah, this album is perfect. Too bad I was too young at the time to like listen to it when it came out. So, yeah, I was 12 and not listening to that kind of stuff. And I was, yeah, I truly hope for one day to have like an anniversary tour where they play every song on this album. It could be very, very good. Yeah, so that's it for the video. So a quick reminder, if you have low memory. So number 9 was The Crusade, number 8 Silence in the Snow, number 7 Ember To Inferno, number 6 was Vengeance Falls, number 5 In Waves, number 4 What the Dead Men Say, number 3 Shogun, number 2 The Sin and Sentence, and number 1 Ascendancy. Guys, thank you for tuning in once again. This was episode 3 of Ranking Discography. I have an idea for the next episode. But if you have like any clue or anybody want me to do at some point, I will gladly do it. So this series is out so twice a month. So like it's Monday today, for you it's Monday, and the next one will be released in 2 weeks. So yeah, every 2 Mondays you will find in a Ranking Discography. Episode 4 will be about a French band called Eds, one of my favorite bands of all time. I think they deserve so much more credit than they had during their career, because they have unfortunately broke up 2 or 3 years ago. But I'm still not told on which band will be out for episode 5, 6, 7. I have ideas. I have like a bit of things put down to ink, but I'm not close to any ideas, so do not hesitate if you have any band you want me to do. And I have another series, if you are here just for this video. It's called X React, so I'm just reacting to videos. So it's out 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and when there is an episode like this one, it's out on Wednesday and Friday. So 3 videos a week for how long I can. I will gladly do it all my life, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, and because I have to do a thing, because I'm on YouTube now, do not hesitate to give me a thumbs up, to subscribe to the channel, and to comment down below to give me your top 9, sorry, or top 5 if you are too lazy, and give me shit about my taste if you like. I don't care. Okay guys, this was Max from Max Facts. I'm going to say bye.